Hi guys, it's Israel Eziedu. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create an interesting food commercial look in Davinci Resolve. So first off, before we start with the tutorial, I need to say that I'm an absolute foodie. So you can tell from the tone of my voice that I'm really excited doing this tutorial. And that's just because I'm staring at food. So this footage was shot by a friend online. He did a food commercial and he put out the footage for us to, play around with and see what we can get. I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial how I achieved the look that I got from this footage. This was shot on the Panasonic Lumix GH5 4K S-Log. This is a really gorgeous image right off the bat, so let's dive right into working on it. As usual, we want to start off with looking at reference images. The idea for reference images are not necessarily to get the exact same look, but to kind of guide you on creating the feel for what you want with your image. So these are the two images I'm looking to use as my reference image. These are really beautiful. I mean, whoever did this, whoever crafted this food, did an amazing job. I'm literally salivating just looking at them. So let's dive right in. First of all, we want to create our nodes, and this is a little bit different from what I'd create when I'm working with a footage that has a human being actually shown in it, like the face of a person or any other visible parts of the person's body. Since this is a food commercial, it's going to be a little different from the usual. So first node would be for our exposure and noise reduction. The second node would be for fine-tuning our exposure. I would not necessarily use this all the time, but I like to have it in case I need to throw in a few punches here and there without working on the main node for my exposure. The third node would be for working on my saturation and the look of the image. The fourth node would be for vignette. The fifth node would be for sharpening, and then the sixth node would be for glow. So I'm just going to go ahead and label all of this so it's easy for us to follow. The noise expo, so to start off, we want to come to our first node here. We want to come to motion effects, temporal noise reduction, keep that at 3 frames, and then I want to really crank this up. I wouldn't go this much for a footage that had a human in it, but for this one I want to go this far because I want to smoothen it as much as I can and blend it up to 8-ish. Still want to push this up a little bit. That's beautiful. Then we want to come to our primary colors and crank up our contrast. Now we don't want to go for an overly contrasty image, otherwise that would just be too much. So around here we want to crush our blacks a little bit and crank up the highlights, not so much, but around here is fine. Yeah, this is good for now. So we're going to come to our look, saturation and look. Still in our primary color window, we want to increase the saturation, not too much but sufficient to make the colors pop. So 60-ish. Yeah, and we want to just add a little red in the highlights not so much, just a little of it. In the gamma as well, we want to put a little red there, somewhere around orange. Yeah, and then we'll come to our lift and nudge this towards the tail area, blue tail area, just to add a little contrast to the overall image. And as usual, I want to crush my blacks on this one just a little bit so I don't have tail everywhere. This is looking good. This is looking good. I'm just going to reference this a little. We are still going to come back to this, but I want to work on my vignette and blur. So I'm going to go to my power window and draw my ellipses just around my subject. Now the camera didn't move around in this shot, so it's a pretty static image. We wouldn't need to track this like we would have done if the camera had moved about. So just keep this at around the middle. And we want to invert this. Then drop our gain, our gamma, and a little bit of our lift, just so that we draw the viewer's attention into the main object of deliciousness. Softness is good, but I want to increase that just a little bit. Now we want to come to blur. This is inverted, so it's just going to blur the exterior parts. Click on here, click on blur, and let's see how far we can take this. Yeah, this is beautiful. Somewhere around here is fine. If I take this off, this is before, and this is what it is now. This is before, and this is what it is now. Good. So before we do the sharpening and glow, we want to come back to exposure and make this a little bit more inviting to the eyes. So let's crank up the white some more and open up our shadows a bit more. This is looking better. We want to come to our saturation and look and just punch in more saturation. Now you'd notice if we check out our reference footages just how punchy these reds are with a sharp contrast to the background. And if you look at our fish or whatever this food is, you'd notice that there's a green cast to it. Now this is natural because the sauce or whatever it is they are rubbing on the food here has vegetables in it, so it has a green cast, but overall it really doesn't look so pleasing to the eyes. We want to come to our primary bars, and on our gain we want to drop the green, just a little bit, not so much, just a little bit. So we take out that green. That is good. Of course, we want to balance this out a little. So we'll come back to our primaries and nudge the lift more towards the tail blue area. Nudge the gamma towards the red. That is beautiful. And then another trick we want to do so that we can, if you look at the image, virtually everything in the image is colorful. The background is really colorful. The food itself is really colorful. So what we want to do is to click on the vignette and just drop the saturation of the background a little bit so that it doesn't distract so much from the main footage. So we already have this marked out in our power window. We want to come to saturation and drop that. here, somewhere around here is fine. So let's add more. I'm going to open this just a little bit more. I think this is fine. And once we have this, we are going to come to our sharpening, come to our blur window, click on sharpen, and draw this down. Take it all the way. So I'm just going to take a pivot around and see where is really cool. This is good. I like this. It looks crispy, really crispy and lovely. And once we have this, we want to click on our glow, come to our effects library, type in glow, just drag and drop this. If you turn this off, you see how it was before and see where it is now. It just adds a punch, a little glow to the highlights. I want to spread this out a little more. You can play with this to get, whatever it is that works really great for you. So this is really lovely. I really, really love this look. It looks natural. It looks beautiful. It looks just inviting. So if you look at the black, really dark areas here, you'd see it kind of matches. Of course, this image was gotten on the web, so you'd notice some more and a little more noise, but it kind of matches. I like that. And then if you come to the whites, this is not pure white, but I mean, seafood are not always pure white on the inside. And if we look at these areas, this is pretty much the same thing. And on our mid-tones, yes, so this works for me. I mean, there are different seafoods here and each has its unique color and feel, but overall this looks really lovely. I really, really love the image that we came up with. I really, 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 really love it. So here it is, guys. This is how I'd color grade a food commercial. Leave a comment in the description to tell me what you think about this video and what you would want us to work on next. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell notification so you'll get notified when I make new posts. Thank you guys and see you guys later.